Hi there, wildflower. Welcome to the Boundless Bloom Life. I'm Bekah, and today I'm going to give you all the tips you need on how to apply eyeshadow to your eye to enhance your beauty. The first tip that I want to talk about is covering or priming your lid. Now you can go and buy an extra primer, but I just take a little bit of my concealer highlighter color just to cover the eyelid. If you have any pigmentation like me, this is just going to it's going to make the eyeshadow stay better. It's going to make the eyeshadow show up more true to color. And as you can see from this eye compared to this eye, it makes a load of a difference. I go all the way up to my brow bone and make sure that I have a pretty clean edge along my brows, along the bottom of my eyebrows. Okay, second tip, you're not going to want to just leave the primer there and that's it. Start going on over with your shades. It's a little bit tacky and your shades will just go on more smooth if you powder over that. Now I use a bone color shade like Cupcake, this shade here, any bone color shade, just slightly dusting, it doesn't matter where it goes, over that to set it. You can also use a setting powder if you already own one of those. Alright, now that our eyes are prepped, nice and dry, nice and ready, we're going to go in with a color that is close to your skin tone. Now, I think I'm going to go a little bit more warm for a Bubba here today, or you could go a little cooler, but I'm going to start out with Bubba. And on a nice fluffy brush like this, you're going to tap it in and then tap it off. You're always going to want to start your eyeshadows from lightest to darkest. If you see a darker kind of eyeshadow out in the corner, they always started with lighter and blended up and built up to that darker shade. You just start with dark, the blend out is just not going to be nice. You're going to want to start light. So start light and build up. I'm going to start, like I said, with Bubba. Now I'm going to place it on the outermost part because that's where you want the darkest of your shadow to be. I'm going to place it on the outermost area of my eye, and with little twirling motions I'm going to pack it on to my desired color. And once I have that how I want it, I'm going to start doing windshield wiper motions in. Now this is going to be a little bit above your crease. If you don't know where your crease is, the crease is this area here. When you open your eye, where it folds into your eye socket, I guess. So you're going to want to go with these lighter colors a little bit above the crease. And don't worry about blending up too dry, but obviously you're going to follow, you kind of use your own crease and use your brow bone as a guide on how far out to start and how far in to go. But the motions will be little swirls and then windshield wipers in, kind of an ombre fading effect, so there's not much pigmentation by the time that you get to the inner corner. Brushes are really important. If you don't own an eyeshadow brush, I'd say you should at least own 2 eyeshadow brushes. One fluffy one and then a smaller one. Now that's why I love the Maskcara Beauty brushes, because they are double-sided. So something like the Eyeshadow Everything is perfect for an everyday eyeshadow looks. Perfect for a woman who's just looking for that quick flip the brush and you're going to get what you want with one easy. I'm going to move to the next shade now while we talk more techniques. I'm going to go to the shade Zion now, which as you can see is near Bubba. It's in the same family as Bubba but a bit darker. And I'm going to start taking that, again, tapping off. I'm going to pack that on the outer corner, going down a little bit lower into the crease. So we're slowly blending out, slowly fading into darker as we come down. Now when you're holding your brush, no matter what you're putting on, I want you to hold it ever so slightly and then touch your eyelid very delicately, very softly. You're actually going to get more payoff doing it this way. Alright, before I go on, I wanted to talk to you guys about hooded eyes. If you have hooded eyes, that just means that this area right here, when you open your eye, is kind of just going to cover your whole lid. And the beautiful work you do on your lid is not going to be shown. Or maybe your crease, even your crease sometimes gets covered. So if that happens, what I want you to do, I want you to take your brush when you're creating the nice blend, and I want you to keep your eye open, look straight ahead into a mirror, and apply the shade like on that hood or above where your crease would be, so that you can actually see the eyeshadow, and it will help make your eye more open and more beautiful. So moving on now, I'm going to go into my favorite brown right here, this nice warm brown. We're going to do one more darker shade before we go on to the lid. Now with this shade, we're going to even more concentrate it into the corner with the same fluffy brush. I'm trying to make it as easy as I can. Like I said, 2 to 3 brushes, and I'm going to swirl and keep this more in what's called the outer V, kind of pulling up, because if you take your brown up, you're going to lift the edge of your eye up as well, and who doesn't want a little bit of eye lift? And I'm going to blend this onto like the outer third of my lid. Honestly, if you want to stop at any one of these stages of your eye look, go ahead, and that can be your eye look for the day. One color swipe, maybe add a little bit more dimension with another color, add a little bit more with the brown. I could stop here and throw in some mascara and it'd still be beautiful for the day. But I'm going to take you all the way into a lid shade. Okay, I got both my eyes looking fabulous with that brown, looking lifted with that extra little step. Now I'm going to switch. Now I'm going to start working on the lids. And you can do this if you want, this next step. You can skip it if you want. Spraying your makeup brush. I'm switching to a flat brush now to work on my lid. And I love to spray mine with a setting spray. You can use water too. A setting spray will make it a little bit more pigmented, I think. And I'm going to go into this shade called Crush. I just really love neutrals. So I'm going to take this shade, and it's more like, this brush is more flat, and it's definitely more flat, and it's rounded at the top. And I'm going to start working on my lid. And like I said, you can skip the spraying part, but the spraying is just going to make the color much more pigmented. Now I'm going to start pressing this onto the eye. No more swiping. We're going to want this color to pop. And I'm going to follow my crease. Again, if you have a hooded eye, you can go a little bit above, open your eye, and kind of go a little bit above here to create the effect that your eyelids are bigger. Not that you don't have big eyelids, but that you can see your eyelid. Because if you have hooded eyes and you apply this, it might just completely be covered. And like I said, you don't want that. I'm going to go back into that bone color shade. Make sure you wipe your brush off. And with the fluffy brush, I'm going to take this shade and brighten my brow bones. Now you can take a shimmer shade, like I'll show you next. But when I have a lot of shimmer on the lid, I personally like to keep the brow bone matte. And then switching back to the one that I had the brown on. I'm just going to blend the brown along the edges so there's no like harsh lines. No harsh lines in the shimmer, no harsh lines in the brown. Now I'm going to take this shade called Sabrina, and this is kind of like one of my favorite things to teach people because, like I said, follow the bone structure of your eye, follow your natural crease above your natural crease, follow your bone structure for knowing like how far out to go. You go all the way to the end of the socket there, and that will really enhance your eyes. Another great way to enhance your eyes, I'm going to take my smaller end of the eyeshadow everything brush again, that tiny little more densely packed dome shape, and I'm going to put this on the inner corner of my eye. So I have round eyes, and if I look into the camera, you can see how it like shimmers naturally, like all up in here. I want you to look into a mirror, look into the light, and see where your inner corner shimmers and highlight that. And that again will highlight your beauty, it will highlight your eyes instead of just putting it on the corner, like the corner there. I love to do the trick where I follow where the light hits me naturally, where the light hits you naturally. Follow that. You won't regret it. It really opens the eye and makes the eye really bright and awake. And rather than the bone color, taking the same shimmer shade, you can also bring it along. The same shimmer shade you use for the inner corner, you can take it along the brow bone as well. Now we're going to work on the bottom lash line. Yes, the bottom lash line. It's necessary and it will really pull the look together. Not so much going on the top and then all of a sudden there's like nothing down below. For me especially, I have deep sockets. Just follow the natural sockets again to guide you onto where to place these next ones. But I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take Zion, that like medium shade that we did first. Cap it off, and with the smaller end of the brush now, I'm going to have to make funny faces. With the smaller end of the brush now, I'm going to take it along my lash line. This one I'm going to take a little bit closer to the lash line and definitely not all the way across the eye. Slowly blend it out so there's no abrupt stop. But you just look at the difference. I keep saying look at the difference, but this is really pulling the look together. Now with the fluffy end, I'm going to go into the very first shade we started with, Bubba. And I'm going to blend out the edges of that a little bit. Trying to talk and not make funny faces. Now I'm not a big fan of eyeliner. If you're going to put it on, do a really thin line along the lashes. Nothing really on the lid. But my favorite thing right now is just using a darker, more cool brown to help line the lash line, make the lash line look a bit more thick. I prefer, and I don't really love the heaviness that a full thick line does to the eye. So I'm going to start on the lower lash line and keeping, the darker I go on the under eye, the closer I keep it to the corner. This is going to lift up the corner of the eye. And now I'm going to do the same on the top, is just like inside the lash line, just on the outside. And try to just dust it through with your angle brush. If you like a little cat eye moment, then take then go for it. Go for it. Or you can go do one of these with the angle brush and smoke out. Give a little smoke out look like that. Apply at least 3 layers of your favorite mascara, and there you go. Your look is complete. What I love about the mascara products that I use is that they are completely customizable. I got all my mattes on the top, and then I got some shimmers on the back. And I built... Have you ever bought a palette and only used a few of the colors? There's no more wasting with mascara because you can pick the colors you want, and you can only have the colors you want. So if you want to custom build a palette, then use my link in the description below. It's really cool. Click on the palette builder once you get onto the website. Throw a couple of these brushes in if you don't have them. I use the Eyeshadow Everything, the multitasker, flat multitasker end, and then the hotline brush to do my eyes today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more tips on how to enhance your beauty, then click that subscribe button. And remember, keep blooming.